Careless with Cash, the Empire.
And we're back, episode 12 of World Soccer Daily, an Arc Soccer Collective original. I'm your host here again with Wendell. How you doing, Wendell?
Doing good, man.
Good. Don't forget to I'm doing good. Don't forget to subscribe everywhere. Arc Soccer Collective, World Soccer Daily. We got a great episode for you guys. We're gonna go over yesterday's Champions League games. Obviously, there's one important one we'll talk about at the end, Real Madrid with Vini. But great games, Wendell. How did you feel about them? Great games.
Yeah, great games across Europe yesterday.
Yeah,
a lot of comeback wins and a lot of goals scored.
Yeah, we're gonna start with PSG, get into Juventus, Galatasaray, then go into Real Madrid. But let's start with the one that I almost thought was gonna happen at the first half, Monaco. So 2-2 of the game. PSG advances on aggregate 5-4. I will say that this game was very interesting in that first half, and I want to say the point of change where PSG kind of secured it was when Koulibaly got that red card. But overall, what do you make of this game, and what do you make of PSG coming into it?
Overall, I'm kind of disappointed that Monaco didn't go through. Low key, high key, got a little bit disappointed. Yeah. But like I always say, talent always prevails. And I do think that PSG realized that like they weren't playing at their best. Mm-hmm. And but I do think they're good enough that they realize that and they're gonna fix it a little bit.
Absolutely. I'm kind of with you on that one with this game. I thought that like I said, I thought PSG might make a game out of it, especially because I was watching the Real Madrid game like everybody was, and then you just saw the highlight of at halftime. We saw where the game was, and I was like, oh, maybe I should be changing the channel.
Right.
But I do understand that PSG. I mean, I do understand that Monaco couldn't really get past PSG. I mean, this is a project team, like we said, and some of their players or some of their best players that we thought were going to be their best players weren't even in the game. So that's just how this goes. But they did hold tough. And PSG, I mean, for what it's worth, I think they'll learn from this, and next round they'll come out stronger. But what do you think?
They should, hopefully. But I guess if I could speak for the rest of the teams in the draw, I hope they don't. You know what I mean? It's like, like, do we really want PSG to be good again? Not really. But I think really. They will.
Yeah. I mean, and it's interesting to see coming into the next round how they will fare. But again, overall, decent game.
Yeah.
But let's move on.
Well, real quick. Yeah. One thing I noticed about this PSG team is how I'm gonna mess his name up, but Chrischevalier.
Close enough.
At least me personally, I haven't seen a player come into a team so seamlessly like he's coming to this PSG team. Like when he got there, it seemed like it was a perfect marriage. Like it just fit. And I think he's been playing well. I think that he's, always one of the first names on the team sheet. And, they have other good players, but this guy, he's nice.
He is nice.
I got to give it to him.
I still think Desiree Doué is probably the future of this team. I think it's safe to say. But yeah, I agree with you. He is a good piece for this team. But hey, who knows? PSG's got a lot of guys that can threaten to be like the face. I mean, they're close to something amazing. I will say that. But we'll see how they fare. It's easy for them in League One, so we'll see how they fare in Champions Leagues to come. Let's move on to a real barn burner. Juventus Galatasaray.
Boy.
And I just want to start off by saying this. I love Victor Osimhen. He is a complete, absolute maniac. Scores a goal, doesn't want to celebrate. He looks angry. That's that Tom Brady. And we were supposed to win this game a long time ago. Why are y'all celebrating? Oh, at first I was kind of like, what's Africa? The trajectory of how I feel about Victor Osimhen has gone up and down in the past 3 months from him yelling at Lookman, and then I'm like, oh, I get it. You're just crazy. You want to win no matter what.
Yeah.
But great game by Juventus Galatasaray. I have to give Juventus their credit. They held tough, especially after the last episode where me and Dupe were just basically giving Italy the biggest verbal lashing, football nation and club. But Juventus held tough, and they tried to fight and make this something and come back with those 3 goals. It just, in the end, didn't work out. But I want to talk about a couple key points from this game. The first one is, and where I think this whole game went south, was that Lloyd Kelly red card at the beginning of the second half. It became, at first it was an immediate red, correct? And then it became
second yellow.
It was a second yellow.
You're right.
It was immediate red. It became an immediate red.
Yeah.
And they went to VAR, came back with a second yellow, and then to a red. I don't know what was seen or how they. I really want to hear the audio of the VAR breakdown of how they came to the conclusion that this was a red card offense. Because to me, he was going up for the ball, saw nobody. There was a nothing situation there, but harsh red card. I don't know how you feel, but let me hear how you feel about that.
Well, if I can get into my Thierry Henry bag real quick.
Go ahead.
It was terrible. It was a terrible decision. Terrible decision from the referee. Terrible decision from VAR. You know what I mean? It was bad all around. Like, as a ref, when you look at that play, when you see a player is jumping up in the air, misses the ball, and is still looking at the ball but comes down and lands on a player, like, come on now. You gotta have that's common sense. That's not even soccer at this point. That's common sense.
Yeah, I had to look at it a couple of times. I'm like, maybe he saw something that I didn't see,
right.
Like some sort of like, okay, he obviously looked and then moved away or tried to, some guys are good at drawing a foul or doing something like that and making it look accidental. But for me, this didn't look like one of those situations. It's almost just like VAR's losing its legitimacy as time goes on with these types of calls, and you it's just sad.
Yeah.
And also, side note, clearly the people who were editing and broadcasting this game were not English, because Lloyd Kelly let them words fly and they did not get blurred out at all. I was like, wow,
FCC on this one.
But yeah, overall, though, I think that did kind of affect the game. Got to give Weston McKennie his credit for that 80th minute header to bring it into overtime. But at the end, Juventus just couldn't hold strong against Galatasaray. And I got to give Galatasaray their credit for this game, because I, for one, don't take the Turkish league that seriously when it comes to their competition in terms of them competing in the Champions League. But every once in a while, they have a team that comes around and surprises you. And this Galatasaray team is one of those teams. Victor Osimhen is on fire at this point. He's in great form. I think he has a great future ahead of him. I think he needs to leave Galatasaray at some point. You got to play better you got to play better soccer somewhere. But
agreed.
Overall, how do you rate Juventus's comeback rally that had them falling short, and where do you find them towards the future with this? Because I feel like even the fans were excited, were pleased with how they performed yesterday. From the first game to this, like, to come home and then try to win, they respected it. They didn't get booed out there. They were applauded.
Sure. To go back to your initial question, I think how did the red card affect the game?
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I think it made them better, because they were pretty much, for the most part, running the game in the second half. And like, I agree with the commentators. They were, like, during the game, they were like, they have 10 players, but it seems like it's 10v11 the other way. Like, they were running the show. And game one, where did Weston start? At the 9 position. Game 2, he started at left back. That goes to show you. That goes to show you he can really play. They gave him a new contract midweek. He signed an extension midweek. So they clearly see the value of Weston McKennie, right? And they're like, all right, we literally can throw this guy anywhere. Let him play anywhere. And he played left back on a 10-man team and scored the game time goal. Like, come on, bro. Like,
he's putting himself in another level of soccer player for the U.S. national team that I really feel like after a certain point we can't do this whole who's the best soccer player for our country anymore. Like, he's a workhorse, and it's not just his skill; it's his ability, his wants. He wants it. You don't see that from every single player on our U.S. national. Not to make this another U.S. national team conversation, but you don't see guys playing like that. And I do think that Juventus sees this, and I feel like for him, if I'm Weston McKennie, I never leave Juventus. I stay there. I stay there long term. That's my Francesco Totti team. I stay there, live out my career, and see what happens, because you're playing great soccer. You're getting all the minutes you need. You're playing all these. You're playing clubs. Weston McKennie is in the perfect position for himself and the U.S. national team. I just wish there were other guys who moved like that.
I agree. And he actually had a chance to win that game late.
Yeah.
He passed, which that's the midfielder on him, right? He passed the ball off, but he didn't pass it off to a bat. He passed it off to a good shot. Mm-hmm. So he passed up a great shot for a good shot, essentially.
Yeah. He makes the right decisions 90% of the time.
Right. Yeah.
And that's all you can ask for. I mean, I would only ask for 80%, but to see it 90% of the time, it's just like, man, we have our captain, we have our guy, we have our motor. I don't want to say captain. I'll let them decide that. We have a motor for the team. Yeah, and that's Weston McKennie.
Yep. And Juve, they have their second round exit like always, and they're happy with that, and I guess they're go back to the drawing board.
So with Juventus, and I do think from that game, I think there's a lot of positive takeaways for them leading into next season in the Champions League. I think that they can learn from this, build from this. I know they're going to make moves in the transfer window in the summer, and they're going to improve. So I am interested to see where Juventus goes from this. I wouldn't be surprised if next Champions League cycle we're talking about them making a deeper run into the tournament, because again, Italy is kind of down Italy is in a down spiral, but this team does feel like they're coming back up. AC Milan felt like they were coming back up for a while, but I don't know. It's kind of plateaued, and then we'll see. Yeah. But I do like what I see from them. Inter, man, after Bodo Glimt, sorry.
Nah.
Credit to Bodo Glimt, but I think if I'm putting my faith in any Italian team right now, a Serie A team, it would be Juventus.
That's fair. I'm with that. I agree.
All right, and now let's get into the barn burner. Oh, this isn't really a barn burner. The game that everybody wanted to see, the Vini testimony is what I call this one. Because I said 3:00, nobody talked to me. I got a game to watch. I got to lock in on this for every single reason. Yeah. But let's talk about the pre-match. Let's talk about the game. Let's talk about before the game, leading up to the game, and then we'll talk about the game, and then post-match. Okay. So after the first leg, Benfica, for some odd reason, decided to have the worst social media run of all time. I'm not going to necessarily highlight the tweets that they said. If you're listening to this, you want to look it up, go ahead and look up Benfica's Twitter, Instagram page. But they've been trying to obviously portray themselves in a different light. I thought it was tasteless. I thought it was ridiculous. Like, to not do anything in the moment, and then do all this weeks after, and none of this has anything to do with Vini. It's just ignorant. But what do you make of that portion of this right now? Like, before we even get into what happened at the stadium before the game.
Well, I think that it's a classic case of, just blatant, not really blatant, but blatant ignorance. Mm-hmm. They saw their press release as something that they had to get out that didn't have a lot of thought behind it. Mm-hmm. And this is pretty much the result of that. When you don't put the thought, it's okay. You can support your player in the background and still have, still come out and speak against things in public, right? Like mm-hmm. that can absolutely be two different conversations. You can be like, hey, whether you said it, didn't say it, we got your back, we're gonna talk through this. We're gonna have conversations, blah blah blah. But your press release can be, we condone any and all,
exactly,
racist speak, and they didn't do that for some reason.
And that's kind of where, and that's kind of where I was. Yeah, that's kind of where I was like, no, this isn't real. But then I realized nothing's real these days.
Nothing's
whatever. Real. But the one tweet that I don't want to, I'll just go ahead and, when they had the little boy and mm-hmm. they taking pictures with the little boy, I was like, okay, come on guys, like, what are we doing here? And then the former player that passed away, and I get it, he did pass away on the 25th of 2014, mm-hmm. but it's just like, I'm interested to see how many years prior you posted that tweet before right. this year. I mean, I didn't go back and check it, but I would like to see if somebody could go back and check and see how many times they posted that player's remembrance of that player since 2014, because that's a long time ago. And for you to post it today, it seems very convenient.
Right.
But with all that said, it's just like, why not just say racism's wrong? We're going to do an investigation and keep it there. You did everything but the one thing that could have kept you out of, could have kept it off of you and just put it onto FIFA in a matter.
Yeah.
So, I mean, with that, it is what it is. But let's get into some more pre-match stuff where Benfica fans were in the stadium holding, or a Benfica fan, unconfirmed, but pictures are all over the internet surfacing of a Benfica fan at Real Madrid Stadium holding bananas over his head and walking around. It's just like, why?
You're not helping. You're not helping the team, my boy.
What does this do? What does this do for anybody, anything, or any, like, to see Vincent Kompany and all these players come out and talk about Benfica and Jose Mourinho and how bad it was for a fan to come in and just double down on this. And then also when they were the pre-match Real Madrid, they had those cameras scanning the fans. Someone did a little salute that I won't mention of where, but you can kind of put one and two together. It's just like, what is all this for? It's not even about hate. It's just about, it's pure ignorance. It's pure ignorance. And something like FIFA's got to do. I mean, I'm not even going to say FIFA's got to do something. Somebody's got to do something, because this is just ridiculous.
Yeah, it's intentional ignorance, right? Like they're doing this on purpose.
Yeah.
Like there's no.
The kids these days call it gaslighting.
Yeah, right. Right. Yeah. It's crazy because it's very sad to see, honestly, but not surprising at the same time. It's like, as much as we want to say, end racism, like say no to racism, blah, blah, blah. Come on now. We know it's always going to be there. So, I think that that picture of that fan holding the bananas doesn't do the team any justice. And if I'm the team, I'm banning him. Like you're not coming to any more of our games, because you're just adding fuel to a fire that we're trying to put out right now.
Yeah.
So you're banned for sure.
But I mean, it just is what it is. And now let's talk about Pressiani, the man of the hour. It seemed like he thought he was going to play it. He felt like he was going to play it, in my opinion.
I don't know why.
Because I also felt it was like, first of all, for the ruling to come down just before the game, I don't know how it took that, how it takes that long to make a decision to tell him he can't play. Crazy. But number two, letting him warm up on the field pre-match was just the dumbest thing ever. That could have caused so many problems, and I'm glad it didn't. And I'm glad. Hats off to Real Madrid, actually, because they were the bigger person in the room. They were the better person in the room, because I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know if I could be that better person after all of that and still play, because even going into the game, at the end of the first half, I thought they were going to start it back up with that last corner kick with Vini. Like Vini and Otamendi were kind of going back and forth. Side note, I'm tired of Otamendi showing us his World Cup trophy tattoo. How many times are we gonna see the tattoo Messi got you?
You're a role player.
We get it. You're a great guy. You're great for Argentina, but we know who got you that title. Bro.
Right.
It's whatever. But I did feel like at the end of the first half, they were going back and forth at that one of those last corner kicks, and I thought the second half was going to start all the way back up. Thankfully, it didn't. But it was a great game. Like, let's just talk about the game for a second. Benfica at one point looked like they were going to actually upset them, to me at least. The first goal went in. I was like, okay, well, we have a game now. Tchouaméni, man, what a goal by him.
Man,
you know how good that goal was? I was watching that game with my mom, and my mom was like, "Oh wow, look at the curve on that ball." Yeah. So that's off to you, Tchouaméni, for impressing my mom. But it felt like a really close game, and what got lost in all of this is how competitive Benfica is, and that's the really sad part,
Agreed. Yeah, the game itself, great. Like you said, when that first goal went in, I was like, "Uh-oh, here we go." Here we go. Real Madrid about to fumble. But I think that kind of lit a fire. They knew that they were like, oh, Benfica is like there might be all this stuff going on outside the lines, but inside the lines, like they came here to play. So we got to step it up. So I think, Chumini was great. I saw at one point, there were a couple times, you kind of look for like little spats here and there. I can't remember who the Benfica player was, but I saw Camavinga kind of getting into it a little bit with a couple of players.
Yeah, I saw at one point, I think it was Otamendi coming to the ref and saying and doing, he's talking, pointing at Vini.
Right.
I felt it. You felt it kind of coming back up, but this is what good refereeing does. Because the first game, if the ref had just if he didn't give the yellow card, that kind of threw the whole thing off. But having control of the game matters, because that could have easily been part 2, and we could have had a whole MMA match going on in that Real Madrid at the Bernabeu. But instead, a ref knew how to keep everybody in their place.
Yep.
Some of these refs have to be evaluated. If you can't keep it under control in those situations, maybe you shouldn't be refereeing here. Go try JV soccer somewhere.
Yeah. And then I don't know. You got to give it up to the boy. You got to give it up to the boy. And I have to say, we'll usually do it, but I got to shout out TJ in the group chat. He was like, "Oh, Vini about to score the game winner," and I was like,
I will never shout out TJ in the group chat.
I got to shout him out. Which, I mean, kind of a perfect storm, right? It's just it seems like it kind of felt like a movie almost. It was like, there's all this hate against this guy, and he, for what it's worth, he did play a good game. I don't always love the way that Vini plays, but he played a good game.
He played a good game. He got that goal, that poetic goal, and I'm glad he got back right to that corner and dance. I was like, do your thing, do your thing. But I want to talk about his relationship with Arbeloa, because I think Arbeloa was all in on him. His comments post-match seemed to me of somebody who wants to, I mean, let me just read it for you. "We will build our game plan around Vini Jr." That's what he said. A lot of people talk about Vini like they don't want him around, but to hear a coach say that means a lot. Because I remember hearing at the beginning of this year rumors of him going to Chelsea or going elsewhere, but this guy is all in, and I love that about him, because Vini, I think Real Madrid is Vini's home for the better part of it. I think he needs to play all of his good football, all of his good soccer in Real Madrid, and then maybe 30s, whatever, go play somewhere else at the end.
Go back to Brazil.
Yeah, the Brazilian way. Go back to Brazil from here. But he is a Real Madrid player. Any way you want, the passion he plays with, how good he is. He's a Real Madrid player. I don't want to see him going anywhere else, because he is that guy.
Agreed. No, it's gonna make for a sticky situation when they try and sign Haaland to play striker, and then move Mbappe over to left wing. But I don't know much.
Haaland is not going to Real Madrid. I do not. I will ban soccer in the world before Haaland goes to Real Madrid.
And another, I want to say that Arda Güler also played a really good game this thing, and I think he's becoming one of those like names that you have to put down on the first team sheet. Like, he has to be starting for this team.
I'm glad you mentioned him, because he is trending up. And yesterday was his birthday, as a matter of fact, when he was playing. Almost got a goal, but it got called back. But to see where he was at the beginning of his Real Madrid journey, where he was injured and people were like, "Where is he? He just disappeared." It felt like Odegaard part 2. But he kind of showed everybody he is a legit force. And I'm interested to see how he grows, and I'm interested to see how he does with Turkey in the future, because he's going to become a star for Turkey. I mean, he's going to be one of those guys for me that's like a good club player, like Modric. Modric is a good club player wherever he goes, but when he goes to play for Croatia, oh yeah, that's his team.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's the trajectory for Arda Güler. And I love how he plays, man. He's just such a great player. Like, Real Madrid has some of the greatest like young soccer players right now. Like, we always talk about Barcelona and Lamine Yamal and Pedri and Gavi, but we got to talk about these Tchouaménis and Camavingas. These guys are just as good, if not better. Skill versus is a debate here and there, player for player, but these guys are so good, and they play together so well already. Their cohesion is so much better than Barcelona's right now.
Oh, absolutely. Real Madrid, they take off the field, get-togethers very seriously at Real Madrid. I mean, it helps when all of them are between the age of like 22 and 26. So,
yeah, they're all shooting TikToks together.
That helps, right? Facts. Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, Arda Güler is very good. They had somebody come on the field, and I obviously don't follow Real Madrid soccer that much.
Mhm.
But my dude came on the field. I don't know what his name was, but I was like, he'll like a regen version of David Beckham. And he got out there. I don't know what he was doing. I was like, man, I could do this. But then I guess it was like number 30. I don't know what his name is though.
I
But
gotta look it up.
yeah, I was like, man, what? But it just goes to show you how like actually how deep that team is. Like they got people for days.
They can buy people and then they can pull somebody out of the academy and you're like, hold on, well, wait a minute. But that's just why. And I mean, obviously, we all know this is common knowledge. Real Madrid is the greatest club in the world. They've been able to be this consistent for a reason. They are this thing. They are who people model their clubs after. It just is what it is. I mean, I feel like most of us, a lot of us got introduced to soccer through, especially Americans, either got introduced to soccer through Manchester United or Real Madrid. And Real Madrid was kind of the household where I grew up. Obviously, a Hispanic household, Real Madrid is the biggest team. So, you know, it's just one of those things that this club is clearly on the right path. And, you know, I wish Benfica's also on the right path on the field. But what do you think? What do you think the future is for Real Madrid in the Champions League? Where do you think they go from here?
Well, they've had injuries.
Going to be interesting.
Yeah, they've had injuries. So hopefully, you know, they didn't have Militao. They didn't have Jude. There's someone else they didn't have. Mbappe. I was like, Mbappe. Yeah. So like, I think once they get their people back, Rodrigo, I don't know where he's at, but
it's just...
I don't know. I would like to see who they match up against next round.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I think it's either between Man City or Lisbon. I don't think they need to play another Portuguese team.
They're playing another Portuguese team. Well, we might have to go to one of them games.
Yeah, I think the draw will do their best to make sure it's Man City.
Probably. Yeah. Or hear me out. Run it back.
Run it back for the ratings, right? But I do like their chances. I think Barcelona also has a great chance at making it past this next round. Boda Glimt, you know, on paper, yes, they should be, like, the stats say they should be winning, but I don't know. I think this miracle story ends next round. We'll see.
For sure.
It just depends on who they draw. But it's been a short episode, but it's been another great episode of Arc World Soccer Daily and Arc Soccer Collective Original. You can follow us everywhere, Arc Soccer Collective Original. I'm sorry. Well, let me go that back. You can follow us everywhere, Arc Soccer Collective. You can follow me, Kurtis Wendell. Where can they follow you at?
Real Wendell Jr. On Instagram. Or if you want to reach out on Arc to get a hold of me on Instagram, that's cool too. And then Wendell Foster Jr. on LinkedIn, man. I'm still trying to get that LinkedIn plug. I need that NIL money. I need that.
All right. We'll be back tomorrow probably talking about the UEFA Champions League draw, seeing where these guys end up playing. And until then, take care.
Peace.